She thought it was a fake wedding, until the millionaire whispered something that changed everything. Jasmine Williams didn't mean to overhear it. She'd only stepped outside the flower shop to breathe after arguing with the landlord. Her fingers still crumpled around the eviction notice. The paper cut into her palm, a harsh reminder that everything her mother left her was hanging by a thread. Then she heard him. "No," a male voice said, low and sharp, a blade sheathed in silk. "Nothing will be canceled. I said I already found a replacement bride." Her head snapped up. A man stood at the curb, phone to his ear, a dark suit cutting clean lines against the late afternoon light. Expensive. Composed. Dangerous in a way that had nothing to do with fists and everything to do with decisions. Replacement bride. Her brain short-circuited on those two words. He turned, as if he could feel her staring. Their eyes locked. His a cool, assessing gray, hers wide and incredulous. For one suspended heartbeat, the city noise dimmed. Then he ended the call and slid the phone into his pocket like he'd just decided someone's fate. "Jasmine Williams?" he asked. She froze. "Do I know you?" "Not yet." He walked closer, each step unhurried, confident. "But I know you. You own the flower shop behind you. You're 3 months behind on rent. You've been avoiding every unknown number on your phone for the last week." Her grip on the notice tightened. "Are you stalking me, or do you just enjoy violating privacy for fun?" His mouth twitched, not quite a smile. "My name is Cole, and I can have that eviction notice voided before tonight." The air left her lungs in a rush. "What do you want?" He held her gaze. 5 minutes of your time, and then 48 hours of your life." Her voice came out thin. "That's vague." "I need a bride," he said simply. "Just for show." Her laugh snapped out, loud and jagged. "You're kidding." "Unfortunately, I'm not the joking type." His expression didn't crack. "My actual fiancé disappeared 2 days ago. The wedding's in 3 hours. The guests are already in town. The investors are already circling. If there's no bride at that altar, they'll smell blood. Shares will drop. Deals will crumble. People will lose their jobs." "And your solution," Jasmine said slowly, "is to drag a random girl off the street and marry her." "Pretend to marry," he corrected. "There's a contract. You play a role, you sign, you get paid, you walk away." She stared at him, throat tight. This was insane. This was the start of a true crime documentary. "Why me?" He studied her like she was a test he intended to pass. "Because you don't look like the women in my world. You're not polished within an inch of your life. You're not rehearsed. When you stand beside me, no one will think this is spin control. They'll believe I snapped and married someone real." She bristled. "So what? I look like a panic decision?" "You look honest," he said quietly. "And right now, that's worth more than any PR plan I can buy." Her heart flipped traitorously at that, the smallest crack in her defenses. "How much?" she asked, voice rough. He didn't blink. "Enough to clear your debt, pay 6 months ahead, and fix that broken back window you keep pretending not to see." Heat crawled up her neck. He'd noticed the stupid window. "This is insane," she muttered, looking down at the eviction stamp bleeding red across the page. 48 hours. 2 days of pretending to belong somewhere she absolutely didn't. In exchange for saving the only piece of her mother she had left. She looked up at him. "There are 100 ways this could go wrong." Cole held her gaze, face unreadable. "There's also one way it goes right. You get to keep your life. I get to keep mine." The store behind her was dark, the sign chipped but still stubbornly hanging. Her mother's handwriting on the chalkboard inside had faded, but Jasmine could still see it, She swallowed hard. I don't even know you. You don't have to know me, he said. You just have to stand beside me and not run. She let out a shaky breath. And after 48 hours, you walk away. His voice softened, barely. No strings, no follow-up, no surprises. That should have reassured her, but it didn't. I need a minute, she said. He nodded once. You've got 60 seconds. After that, I call someone else, and your landlord keeps his schedule. She spun away from him, pacing along the sidewalk, ignoring the curious looks from passers-by. Her mind raced. This was reckless, dangerous, utterly unhinged. But so was losing the shop her mother had poured her heart into. So was letting everything go because she was afraid of a man in a perfect suit. Her heartbeat pounded against her ribs. This wasn't about romance or fairy tales. This was survival. She turned back to him. I'll do it. A breath left his chest, quick and quiet, like he'd been holding it. Good. Come with me. The car waiting at the curb was sleek and black. Inside, the interior smelled like leather and subtle cologne. The city blurred past the tinted windows. She kept her hands in her lap so he wouldn't see them shaking. So, she said, because silence made it worse. Fiancé disappears, and your first thought is, I'll hire a stranger. Not therapy? Therapy doesn't impress shareholders, Cole replied. A beautiful bride does. She rolled her eyes. Flattery won't make this less weird. That wasn't flattery. That was logistics. Oh my God, she muttered. You're insufferable. For a fraction of a second, something like amusement flickered in his eyes. You'll survive. It's 2 days, Jasmine. You've worked worse shifts. Her chest tightened. He knew too much. How did you even find me? She asked. I come here. He looked out the window. Your shop. I've watched you work. Her brows shot up. Congratulations. That's literally the definition of stalking. I buy coffee across the street. He corrected. I watch people. It's how I know who panics under pressure and who doesn't. His gaze settled on her again. You don't. You don't know that. I saw your landlord corner you last week. His tone stayed calm, clinical even. You didn't cry. You didn't beg. You asked for 3 more days and then opened your shop like nothing happened. Her stomach clenched. You were watching? He didn't apologize. I notice patterns. You keep showing up even when you're drowning. That's the kind of bride I need. Her heart twisted at the phrasing. Bride, not actress, not stand-in. The car turned into a gated drive, climbing toward a glass and stone estate overlooking the city. Photographers clustered at the main gates, cameras flashing even though they couldn't see through the tinted windows. Nausea swirled in her chest. They're already here? The wedding is in 3 hours, Cole said. The ceremony itself is 20 minutes. Afterwards, photos, reception, a few public appearances over the next day. Then we quietly separate, and the narrative becomes whirlwind romance. We rushed into it. We realized it wasn't right. We parted as friends. Her throat closed. You rehearse that. I rehearse everything. And your real fiancé? What's her narrative? His jaw flexed. Irrelevant. That's cold, she said softly. But no other words came from him. The car stopped. Staff waited outside, doors already open. The moment Jasmine stepped out, the air changed. Everyone moved faster. Voices sharpened, anxious energy cracked like static. A woman with a tablet appeared, efficient and composed. I'm Rachel, Mr. Cole's assistant. Miss Williams, your dress is ready, hair and makeup are on standby. We're on a tight timeline, but we'll make it work. Do I get a say in anything? Jasmine asked. Rachel blinked, then actually smiled. You just did. I'll make sure you're heard, even if it's for small things. It shouldn't have mattered, but it steadied Jasmine a little. Okay. Cole's gaze skimmed over her, assessing again like he was fitting her into an equation. Rachel will handle the details. I'll see you before the ceremony. Wait, Jasmine said, pulse jumping. Aren't we supposed to practice or talk? Or at least pretend we like each other before I agree to ruin my life for you? His stare held hers, cool and disturbingly honest. I don't need you to like me, Jasmine. I need you not to fall apart. Her chest stung. Good news, she said dryly. I learned how to do that a long time ago. Suddenly, something like regret flickered across his face. But it was gone before she could figure it out. He turned away, leaving her in the middle of a life she did not understand, with 48 hours to pretend she belonged. Jasmine stood in the dressing suite, gripping the edge of the vanity as the makeup artist finished the last touch. Her reflection barely looked like her. Softer, cleaner lines, her eyes framed like they belonged on someone who had never cried over overdue bills. Rachel slipped in quietly. Don't panic, she said. I'm not panicking. Jasmine lied. Rachel handed her a small card. These are the vows he wants you to repeat. He wrote them himself. Well, edited them. Jasmine scanned the card, her stomach dropping. This sounds nothing like me. It sounds like him, Rachel said gently. That's the point. There was a knock at the door. Rachel opened it, and Cole stepped in. Jasmine froze. He was in a charcoal suit, tie perfectly straight, posture rigid enough to carry empires. But his eyes, they flicked over her, slow and stunned, like he hadn't expected her to look quite like this. His breath caught, barely, but she saw it. You're on time, he said finally. Jasmine glared. Is that your version of you look nice? He cleared his throat. You look acceptable. Wow, she muttered. Hold the poetry. Rachel bit back a smile. I'll go make sure everything is set. The door shut behind her, leaving Jasmine and Cole alone. Are you ready? He asked. No, she said honestly. But let's pretend I am. It's what we're good at. His expression shifted. Something like guilt, or something like recognition. If you want to back out, I don't, she cut in, surprising them both. I need the money. I need the shop, and I gave you my word. For the first time, Cole looked shaken by something she said. Those things matter to you, he murmured. Yes, Jasmine said. They do. He nodded once, like he was adding that to a private file in his mind. Then follow me. They walked through the grand hallway toward the ceremony room. Jasmine's pulse drummed beneath her skin as hushed voices filtered through the doors. Investors, reporters, people hungry for spectacle. Cole paused just before the entrance. Jasmine, he said quietly. She turned, expecting another cold instruction. Instead, he offered his hand. I won't let anything happen to you. Not today. Her throat tightened. Why does that sound like a warning? Because it is. The music started. The doors opened. The room glowed under chandeliers, the aisle lined with people who had flown across the world for this moment. Cameras clicked like insects. Jasmine's chest rose and fell too fast. Cole bent slightly, his lips brushing her ear. Eyes on me. No one else. She swallowed hard and nodded. Together, they stepped inside. Every head turned. Every whisper fell silent. Jasmine felt naked, exposed, tiny in front of all these powerful people until Cole's hand tightened around hers, steady and grounding. Once they reached the officiant, Cole faced her. His eyes locked onto hers, cold steel softening, pressure melting, something unspoken sparking between them. "Jasmine Williams," he began. "I choose you." Her breath hitched. It was part of the script. It shouldn't have sounded like a confession. But with the entire world staring, Cole said each word like he meant them. She repeated her lines, voice trembling. "I choose you." The room seemed to hold its breath. The officiant gave them the signal. Cole leaned in, slow enough to test her resolve, slow enough to terrify her. Jasmine felt the world narrow to the heat of his breath, the press of his hand against her waist, the way he waited 1 second too long before kissing her. His lips touched hers. Light, intentional, devastating. The cameras exploded with flashes, and Jasmine felt something she couldn't name break open inside her. When he pulled back, Cole whispered, "Don't run." A tremor rippled through her. "Don't give me a reason to." The ceremony blurred after that. Applause, congratulations, flashes, reporters shouting questions, Cole directing her with a hand on her lower back like he'd been doing it his whole life. During photos, a board member approached. Mrs. Hawthorne, a sharp-eyed woman with a diamond brooch that looked like it could cut glass. "My dear," she said, looking Jasmine up and down. "You're different from the women Cole usually entertains." Jasmine forced a smile. "That's one way to say I'm not his type." Mrs. Hawthorne's brows rose. She liked the honesty. People rarely surprised her. "Be careful," she murmured. "There are wolves in this room dressed as shareholders." Cole stepped up behind Jasmine, voice cool. "Is someone bothering you?" Mrs. Hawthorne smiled. "Just giving your bride a welcome." "That's my job," he said evenly. When she walked away, Jasmine whispered, "She hates me." "She hates everyone," Cole replied. "Don't take it personally. Your life is exhausting. You haven't seen anything yet." After the reception came more photos, staged small talk, 100 handshakes Jasmine didn't understand. Through it all, Cole stayed close, answering questions, guiding her, subtly correcting the angle of her smile or the tilt of her chin. Just before they left for the hotel suite where they were expected to make an appearance for the press, Cole's phone buzzed. He stepped aside. Jasmine watched his shoulders stiffen. "What is it?" she asked when he returned. Cole hesitated, and that was wrong. Cole never hesitated. "There's been a leak," he said, voice low. "Confidential files from my company were released online. Competitors are already moving. The board is panicking." Jasmine's stomach dropped. "That sounds bad." "It's catastrophic." His jaw clenched hard. "And someone internal did it." "Your fiancé?" Jasmine asked softly. His eyes went cold. "She's gone. I don't care where or why." There was a beat of heavy silence. "So, what do we do now?" she asked. "We show our faces," Cole said. "We act like everything is fine." "That's your solution? Pretend?" "It's always the solution," he said. "In my world." They headed toward the car waiting to take them to the hotel. Photographers swarmed. Reporters called out, "Cole, is the leak connected to the wedding?" "Who is the new bride?" "Jasmine, are you aware of the scandal?" "Is this marriage legitimate?" Cole tightened his grip on her hand. Inside the car, Jasmine let out a shaky breath. "This is a nightmare." Cole stared out the window, a storm in his eyes. "I can handle a nightmare. What I can't handle is betrayal." His phone buzzed again. He looked at the screen, and his face turned to stone. Without a word, he typed something quickly, then shoved the phone back in his pocket. "Cole?" He didn't answer at first. Then quietly, Someone close to me wants to destroy everything. Her heartbeat kicked painfully. What does that mean? It means, he said, voice dropping to a dark, dangerous whisper. This wedding was supposed to save my company. He looked at her. Really looked. But someone just declared war. Jasmine swallowed. Should we go back? Cancel the appearance? His jaw tightened. Nothing will be canceled. The car pulled up to the hotel, but when Coles stepped out for the cameras, flashing his perfect, practiced smile, Jasmine could feel it. Something was coming. Something big. Something dangerous. Something that would make the fake wedding feel like the safest moment of her life. The next 24 hours blurred into a cruel performance. Cole moved through the hotel ballroom like nothing was wrong, his hand on Jasmine's back, his voice steady as he gave practiced answers to safe questions. But she could feel the tension under his skin, the way his fingers kept flexing like he wanted to punch something. When they finally escaped to the penthouse suite, Jasmine kicked off her heels and dropped into the nearest chair. I don't understand how you're still standing, she said. You just got hit with a corporate bomb and you're out there smiling like a toothpaste commercial. I don't break in public, Cole replied, loosening his tie with a sharp jerk. It makes the sharks hungrier. That sounds lonely. He didn't respond. A beat later, his phone buzzed. He checked it, and his face went blank. What now? Jasmine asked, anxiety spiking. The board called an emergency session, he said. They're suspending my access until an internal investigation is complete. Suspension from his own company. Her heart pinched. Is that even legal? In this situation? He let out a humorless laugh. Completely. What are you going to do? He looked at her like that was the wrong question. What are you going to do? She blinked. I'm going to sleep, hide, panic quietly in a corner. I don't know, Cole. This isn't my world. It is for the next 24 hours, he said. And if things go badly for me, the narrative will turn on you too. Cold slid down her spine. How? They're already questioning the timing of the leak, the sudden wedding, the missing fiancé, he said. If someone wants to spin a story, they'll make you the distraction. The scheming waitress who trapped the broken millionaire while he was vulnerable. She felt sick. That's not what happened. The truth doesn't matter, Cole said flatly. Only the story does. Her eyes stung. Why did you drag me into this? Because I thought I could control it, he snapped, then flinched at his own tone. He scrubbed a hand over his face. I thought I could contain the damage. I was wrong. Silence stretched between them. Then Jasmine straightened. So, what now? You're suspended. Your company's on fire. Someone is leaking secrets. Where do you even start? His eyes darkened. With the only thing I still have. What's that? Information. He moved toward the bedroom, opening a sleek wardrobe and pressing his thumb against a hidden panel. A compartment slid open, revealing a slim black folder and a small keycard. This is access to a secondary server room, he said. One the board doesn't know about. Every high-level change in the last 6 months has a shadow log. If there's a pattern, it'll be there. Okay, she said slowly. So we go get it. We don't, Cole corrected. I do. Why not me? She asked, bristling. Because if something goes wrong, I refuse to have your name attached to this, he said. You signed up for a fake wedding, not corporate warfare. She stepped in front of him, blocking his path. And if something happens to you? What am I supposed to do then? Smile for the cameras while they drag you away. His jaw clenched. Jasmine. No, she cut in, voice shaking. I know I don't belong in your world. But right now, I'm the only person in this room who isn't paid to betray you if it benefits them. His eyes flickered, like that hit somewhere he didn't want to acknowledge. He pressed the key card into her palm. Her breath caught. What are you doing? Backing up your argument, he said. If I don't come back here by morning, you go to this address. He scribbled it on a slip of paper. Use the key card to access sublevel 3. Pull any logs with unusual access patterns. Look for recurring IDs. If you find something, Rachel knows what to do with it. Her heartbeat thundered. You're scaring me. Good, he said. Fear keeps you careful. This is insane, Cole. You can't just disappear and leave me with secret server instructions like we're in some spy movie. His expression softened for the first time all night. I won't disappear if I can help it. Not reassuring, she muttered. He stepped closer, so close she could see the faint shadows under his eyes, the cracks in his calm. This wasn't supposed to touch you, he said. I'm sorry it did. Her throat tightened. I'm pretty sure that's the closest I'll ever get to an apology from you. It's not the closest, he murmured. Just the first. Before she could respond, he leaned in and pressed his forehead to hers just for a second. Warm, solid, human. Then he pulled away. Lock the doors. Don't open for anyone but Rachel, he said. And Jasmine? Yeah? Don't trust anyone who tells you they're on my side. His gaze held hers. You'll know who you can trust when it counts. The door closed behind him with a soft click that sounded like a gunshot. Hours passed. Jasmine paced the suite until dawn painted the edges of the curtains. Cole didn't return. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart leapt, only to crash when it was another news notification. Suspension confirmed, leak worsening, speculation climbing. Finally, when the fear became a living thing in her chest, she looked down at the key card in her hand. I'm going to regret this, she whispered, and grabbed her coat. The address led her to a nondescript building in the industrial district. No logo, no flashy security, just a plain door with a key card reader. Her fingers shook as she slid the card. The light turned green. Inside, cold air hit her. Rows of servers hummed, blinking with quiet malice. Somewhere in this maze, the truth was buried in lines of code and access logs. She followed the numbers Cole had written down, finding a terminal on sublevel 3. The screen demanded credentials. She typed in what he'd told her, half expecting it to fail. It didn't. Directories opened, dates, IDs, access points. It was a flood, but she wasn't completely lost. She'd done inventory logs for years. Patterns made sense to her. She filtered, sorted, traced. One ID popped up over and over, slipping into places it didn't belong. Late at night, just after key meetings, right before leaks. N. Cade. She frowned. She'd heard that name last night. One of the board members had introduced himself. Nathan Cade, she murmured. You bastard. She downloaded the logs onto a drive. Her heart pounded so loud she almost missed the sound behind her, a soft scuff of a shoe. She froze. Didn't expect you to be the one, a cool male voice said. But I guess desperate men do desperate things, even Cole. Jasmine turned slowly. Nathan Cade stood a few feet away, wearing a tailored coat and a smile that didn't touch his eyes. Wrong floor, he said, walking toward her. This level's reserved for people who actually matter. Her grip tightened around the flash drive. Funny. That's exactly what I was thinking about you. His smile sharpened. You don't belong here, Miss Williams. Or is it Mrs. Cole today? Does it bother you? she asked. That even faking it, I lasted longer than whoever decided to screw you over first? A flash of anger flickered in his eyes before he smoothed it away. You really are mouthy for someone standing in a room full of very delicate, very valuable hardware. And you're awfully defensive for an innocent man, she said. He took another step. Give me the drive. No. His jaw worked. You don't understand what you're holding. I understand enough, she shot back. You've been inside systems you shouldn't touch. You've been moving around like a ghost, leaving doors open for whoever's paying you. And now Cole is taking the fall for it. He laughed, low and cruel. Cole was always going to take the fall. Men like him think they're untouchable. They don't notice the people building the floors under their feet. He lunged. Jasmine bolted, sprinting between the server racks. He grabbed for her, fingers scraping her arm. Pain shot up her side, but she twisted free, heart slamming against her ribs. Run all you want, Nathan called, footsteps pounding after her. You have nowhere to go. A metal door labeled Warehouse Access appeared at the end of the corridor. Jasmine slammed through it, stumbling into a dim open space filled with crates and industrial shelves. She ducked behind a stack, gasping for breath. The door banged open behind her. Here's how this goes, Nathan said, voice echoing. You hand me the drive, I let you walk away. You keep your little flower shop. Maybe someone even pays you to cry about how tragic it all was. Jasmine pressed her back against the cold crate, fingers digging into the flash drive. He didn't get to rewrite her story. She stepped out from behind the crates, chin high. You really think you can talk your way out of this? There are logs, patterns, evidence. Cole's not stupid. He'll figure it out. No. A new voice cut in, from the shadows. He already did. Nathan spun. Cole stepped into the light, eyes like a loaded gun. He was rumpled, exhausted, but very much alive. Relief slammed into Jasmine so hard she almost dropped the drive. How? She began. His gaze flicked to her, something fierce and raw in it. I told you I wouldn't disappear if I could help it. Nathan's expression twisted. You shouldn't be here. Security was supposed to... Security works for me, Cole said. Not you. You just paid a few of them more than they were worth. Nathan scoffed. You can't prove anything. Jasmine stepped forward, holding up the drive. This says otherwise. Nathan's control cracked. He lunged for her, but this time Cole moved faster, intercepting him with a brutal, efficient tackle that knocked them both to the ground. They struggled, fists hitting flesh, the sounds echoing in the empty space. Jasmine's lungs burned as she watched, fear turning her hands to ice. Stop, she yelled. Cole, just... A security team burst in through the far door, guns drawn but steady. Mr. Cole, one of them said. We have the recording, sir, as requested. Recording. Jasmine blinked. Cole forced Nathan's arm behind his back, breath harsh. You really should have watched your mouth around the people you assumed were bought. Nathan froze. The guard held up a small device. Audio from the last 3 minutes, most of it highly incriminating. Nathan went still. Then he laughed, brittle and wild. You think this changes anything? The board will bury it. They always do. Maybe, Cole said quietly. But the press won't. He nodded to the guards. Get him out of my building. As they dragged Nathan away, he snarled at Jasmine. Enjoy the fall when he takes you down with him. She swallowed the tremor in her throat. Enjoy prison. When they were gone, the silence rushed in. Cole turned to her. They stared at each other, both breathing hard. You shouldn't have come, he said. You shouldn't have needed me to. she shot back. His mouth tightened. I told you to stay in the suite. And I told you I don't run, she said, voice breaking. You didn't come back. I thought... She swallowed. I thought they took you. His expression shattered for a split second. He crossed the distance between them in 3 strides, hands catching her shoulders. I'm not used to anyone worrying about me, he said hoarsely. Well, get used to it, she fired back, chest heaving. Because apparently that's what I do now. I worry about reckless millionaires who drag me into corporate crime scenes and then vanish. His lips curved just a little. You're shaking. So are you, she whispered. They stood there amid the dust and concrete and humming machines, the world outside still burning. And for the first time since this began, Jasmine felt like they were on the same side of the fire. Thank you, Cole said quietly, for coming here, for not walking away. You gave me a way in, she said. You knew I'd use it. I hoped. He lifted a hand, brushing a strand of hair from her face. The touch was gentle, reverent almost. You shouldn't make a habit of risking yourself for me, he murmured. Then stop needing it, she replied. His gaze dropped to her mouth. Not happening, he said softly. Later, it all happened fast. Nathan was arrested. The logs were turned over. Journalists got their story. The board had no choice but to reinstate Cole once the evidence went public and shareholders demanded stability. But the real shift came a week later, under camera lights again. A press conference, a podium, too many eyes. Jasmine stood slightly behind Cole, as instructed, but her heart felt like it was right at the edge of the stage. Cole finished explaining the sabotage, the evidence, the steps moving forward. Reporters scribbled, flashes popped. Then one of them called out, "And what about the whirlwind wedding, Cole? Was that part of the cover-up or just convenient timing?" The room buzzed. Cole looked over his shoulder at Jasmine. His expression changed. He stepped away from the podium, closing the distance between them like the cameras didn't exist. He took her hand. Gasps rippled through the room. "When I asked Jasmine to marry me," he said, looking directly into the lenses pointed their way. "It was a contract, a strategy. I won't lie about that." Jasmine's chest squeezed. "But somewhere between the rehearsal and the real thing," he continued, voice steady, "she became the only honest part of my life. She stood beside me when it cost her nothing to walk away. She risked her safety to clear my name when she could have taken her money and disappeared." His fingers tightened around hers. "This marriage stopped being fake the moment I realized losing her scared me more than losing my company." Jasmine stared at him, eyes burning, the noise of the room fading to a muffled blur. He turned slightly, lowering his voice just enough for her to hear. It still carried enough for the microphones. "I know this isn't what you signed up for," he said, "but I'm asking anyway. Stay. Not for 48 hours, not for a story to feed the press. Stay because I'm better when you're here." The world held its breath. Jasmine could have laughed, cried, run. Instead, she did the only thing that made sense in the chaos her life had become. She squeezed his hand back. "Fine," she said, voice shaking. "But next time you need a bride, maybe just try asking like a normal person." A ripple of laughter broke through the tension. The press loved it. The cameras zoomed in. Cole's smile, rare, real, appeared. "I'll work on it," he said. They kissed there, under the lights, and for once it wasn't about optics. 1 year later, the air smelled like fresh paint and possibility. The Crestwell-Williams Community Hub buzzed with kids testing small robots, sketching designs on whiteboards, arguing over circuits and colors. It wasn't just a charity building. It was a place for second chances. For kids who'd been told they didn't belong in rooms like this. Jasmine walked through the main hall, tablet in hand, a smudge of paint on her wrist. She'd fought for every program, every mural, every open door. "This was your idea," Cole said, coming up beside her. "You know that, right?" "Maybe," she said, watching a girl proudly demonstrate a blinking robot. "But you made it possible." He shook his head. "You made it necessary." Reporters had gathered again, but this time it felt less like a trial and more like a celebration. Cole stepped up to the small stage, pulling Jasmine with him. "Last year," he told the crowd, "I nearly lost everything because I trusted the wrong people. And I almost missed the one person who walked into my life with nothing to gain and still chose to stay." He looked at Jasmine like she was the only one there. "She didn't just pretend to be my wife," he said. "She became my partner in every way that matters. This place," he gestured around them, "exists because Jasmine refused to believe my world had to stay cold. She gave it a heartbeat." Her eyes blurred. "If you're ever told that you don't belong somewhere," he finished, "come here, we'll make space." The ribbon was cut. Applause thundered. Kids cheered. Jasmine leaned into him, heart so full it hurt. "You keep saying things that make it very hard to argue with you." "Good," he murmured, brushing his lips against her temple. "Argue anyway. I like it when you do." She laughed, soft and incredulous, because somehow the girl who'd almost lost everything now had more than she'd ever dared to imagine. And as the camera crews wrapped up and the kids went back to building their impossible little machines, the story they'd begun as a contract settled into something much quieter, much stronger. Real. If you're listening to this and you felt even a flicker of what Jasmine did when she chose to stay, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite moment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next love story that starts as a lie and ends as something worth fighting for.